welcome here, just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams. You are welcome, holy welcome, holy welcome.
Hello, lovely ones. My name is Stephanie Sterrett. I'll be your host today for through this meditation, more like a contemplation. I'm going to start with something from the science of mind. From chaos and the old night, the realization that we have the ability to change it must be gained by the application of our knowledge. Change the consciousness and the false conditions will disappear. Realize that the law of life is the law of freedom, of liberty, flowing through all, into all affairs. So remove your seeming limitations and sloppy thinking and replace these. Know that they are not the truth. Refuse to wallow in the mud of sympathies. And I'm going to read something, and I want you to contemplate it for a few minutes, where I'll give some minutes of silence so that we can really take this in. I am a center of divine mind, a point of God conscious life, truth, and action, divinely guided and guarded to right action. The Spirit animates everything that I do, say, or think. Now I invite you to just take a deep breath with that statement. I am a center of divine mind. Take a breath, a point of consciousness, of conscious life. Take another breath. Truth and action. Divinely guided and guarded to right action. The Spirit animates everything that I do, say, or think. And as I breathe in these words, I realize who I am in truth. Breathe in, breathe out. I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth. Breathe in. Breathe out. I know what I am. I know who I am. I know how I serve in truth. Breathe in. Breathe out. I know these truths to be self-evident. I practice these truths every day, one day at a time. Breathe in. Breathe out. There are no obstacles in the pathway of truth. Breathe in, breathe out. True thought deals directly with first cause, and this science is the study of first cause. Breathe in, breathe out. Spirit, or the truth, that invisible essence, that ultimate stuff and intelligence from which everything comes. Breathe in, breathe out. The power back of the thing itself. And so it is. Thank you for joining me today.
You are welcome here, just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome, wholly welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams. You are welcome, wholly welcome, wholly welcome.
Hello, CSL St. George, Utah. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. My name is Stephanie Starrett. I go by the name of Star. I'm a religious science certified practitioner, and I love the science of mind. So today we have me as your host, of course, and we have Kelly giving our invocation, Cheryl Barlow, our piece de resistance magician, and we have Chris McCardle doing our reading, and we have a wonderful speaker today, Eugene Holden. So Let's introduce now Cheryl with our song. Oh, we're an open and loving and inclusive community, by the way, and we support creative thinking, creativity, and thinking creatively and living a deeply spiritual life. Welcome, Cheryl. I'm not able to hear you.
Yes, I was muted. I apologize. I've just said thank you for that beautiful meditation, Star. That was really powerful, and you got us right where we need to be to get this day and get this service just in that sweet spot. So thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and just say yes. We're going to say yes to this moment, say yes to what comes, say yes to Spirit. Just open and be present and allow. It's the still small voice. It's the whispering of Spirit. It's your heartbeat song, gently hoping that you'll hear it. Close your eyes, take a breath. Don't need to know what comes next. Just say yes. We're going to go right into our invocation and welcome practitioner Kelly Kapsar.
Thanks,
you,
Cheryl.
Kelly.
So I take the breath, continuing in this yes, continuing in the sacred yes that we've all said, continuing in the life that God is, that Source is. Knowing that that is right here, right now, within me, within each of us, every cell, every very fiber of our being is God informed, is grace informed. And so I breathe into that, letting that remind my bones, remind my cells that God is and I am. And so I speak from that place of the I am, that we all are, knowing that this time together, this day of reaching higher, even when the road gets rocky, or especially when the road gets rocky, it's still the perfection of divine. For right here, God is. And so I breathe that in, letting any thoughts of disturbance or chaos or stress become the order, like the seed that is planted. As it bursts through the soil, it might feel chaotic, and yet it bursts into something beautiful. And so I know that that is the truth of the I am, that each and every one of us are, that we are collectively. And so I know that going forward, God's got us. God's got us. In this moment, in every moment. And for this and so much more, I am truly so very, very grateful. So very grateful. And I breathe that gratitude into my heart, into my mind, into my body. Letting God lead. And I rest back into the supporting arms. And I simply let it be, knowing it is already the perfection of divine. And so I breathe that in one last time, top to bottom, front to back, and side to side. And together we simply say, and so it is.
And so it is. So it is. Thank you, Kelly. So these words are going to be on screen, and we're going to affirm them together. It's the still small voice It's the whispering of spirit. It's your heartbeat song, gently hoping that you'll hear it. Close your eyes, take a breath. Don't need to know what comes next. Just say yes. There's a longing in your soul that cries to you, asking, can we slow it down and just not do? Put away every list. Take a day just to exist and sit in truth. It's the still small voice. It's the whispering of spirit. It's your heartbeat song, gently hoping that you'll hear it. Close your eyes, take a breath. Don't need to know what comes next. Just say yes. There's an aching in your heart you can't deny, dreaming of some quiet time, a wide open sky, for a place deep within that holy space where we begin and love abides. It's the still small voice. It's the whispering of spirit. It's your heartbeat song, gently hoping that you'll hear it. Close your eyes, take a breath. Don't need to know what comes next. Just say yes. Say yes. Say yes. Now I'm going to welcome Chris McCardle, and he is going to do our sacred reading. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Cheryl. That was just beautiful.
Thanks, honey.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. So those of you that know, our Sacred Covenant is a prayer. It's a prayer that we collectively in consciousness created. Every single word was created in the notion that it was a prayer to call on a new minister that comes to our center. So as I read this, just I invite you to sort of have that in your heart, that desire and that knowing that the new minister for Center for Spiritual Living St. George is here right now, just waiting to show up. So I'll begin reading. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life, I know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which include the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to express God, I therefore know that my new minister reveals wholeness. And I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which we believe, for it is written by Ernest Holmes, let us learn to draw the divine substance down into our own lives, as freely it has been given to us, let us give it to others. Thus alone shall we be made whole. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister revealed before me as growing the center in joy and in prosperity. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing the truth about myself, for I live in the presence and the law of God. I demonstrate wisdom through a mature understanding of the wholeness of life. I am accountable and willing to take full responsibility for my actions. I participate in and support the nurturance and guidance of our community. I act from wholeness and in congruence in thought, word, and action. I walk the talk. So at this point, I'd like for you to put this idea in your mind of what the new minister looks like for spiritual living for you personally. So as you say, I embrace, just hold on to that feeling just for a moment. All right, I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, knowing that they are revealed in a way that expresses God and serves the highest and greatest good for all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful, and so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Thank you so much, Chris. So as you've heard, the theme for this month is reaching higher, and today's focus is when the road gets rocky. And we certainly all are familiar with those times. Emma Curtis Hopkins has this bold statement about those difficult, challenging times. She says, "This too is good. This too is God. This too is for me. And I demand to see the blessing in it for me." Joel Goldsmith agrees, and he acknowledges that we often go to Spirit in prayer, but he reminds us, your prayer will not be an asking or a seeking for anything. It will be an asking and a seeking and a knocking for more light, greater wisdom, and greater discernment. Science of Mind founder Ernest Holmes, he also assures us that those prayers will always be answered, reminding the wick of your individual life runs deep into the oil of pure being. No matter what confusion appears at the surface of your life, there's always a place of calm at the center of your being. No matter how turbulent the waves may be on the ocean of your experience, beneath there is changeless peace. This song reminds us that saying that it isn't about the destination, it's about the journey, and certainly it's the traveling that makes us who we are. I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying, you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaking, but I gotta keep trying, gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain, I'm always gonna wanna make it move, always gonna be an uphill battle, sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. The struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking, sometimes they knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments I'm gonna remember most. Just gotta keep going, and I gotta be strong. Just keep pushing on. There's always gonna be another mountain, I'm always gonna wanna make it move, always gonna be an uphill battle, sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. There's always gonna be another mountain, I'm always gonna wanna make it move, always gonna be an uphill battle, sometimes we're gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. It's the climb. Thank you so much. Back to you, Star.
Hey, thank you, Cheryl. That was awesome. I love that song. I gotta hear that one again because I have failed on some of those things.
Right there with you.
All right. I'd like to introduce now our speaker, Eugene Holden, who's a religious science certified practitioner. Welcome, Eugene.
Good morning, Star. Stephanie.
RScP. I want to point that out and see who guesses what that is.
You don't have to guess, I will tell you, because this is what I feel. The magnificent. The magnificent. Right. Yeah. So let's get this started. How about let's get this party started? So to quote Dr. Holmes, and it's in the covenant as well, there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. To really embody that, there is only one life. That life is God's life. Now, I understand that the word God for some of us may have a little negative connotation. It may, flip a trigger, push a button. And I get that. And for good reasons, right? Because that word has been used in so many ways that may not be of the highest and the best, right? So if you don't like the word God, then you can take that out and put in love, right? There is only one life. That life is love's life, right? That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There's only one life. Call it what you want. And that life is perfect. That life is perfect. One of the definitions for the word perfect is complete and whole, right? And that life is my life now. That life is your life now. So no matter what seems to be going on in life, it is reaching higher to the consciousness of recognizing it no matter what. No matter what. To quote Dr. Holmes once again, he was frequently heard saying that there is a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. There is a power in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. We get to use it. Now, here's the thing about power in the universe. That universe is not only that which is outside of us, that universe is that which is within us. See, there's no separation here, right? There is this belief that we are to come to that not only is there a universe, but we are the universe, right? We are the universe. So this month's theme is reaching higher. This month's theme is reaching higher. So in week 1, we talked about that, about reaching higher for what, right? So again, everything, there was beautiful. In one of the readings, one of my beautiful practitioners right before we got on talked about, this is the science of first cause. This is the science of first cause. And what came to me is that, what is that first cause? First cause is thought, right? Thought is the first cause, right? So now in the Hebrew scripture, we hear, and God said, let there be light, right? So that the word was first. But what really comes first, because words are thoughts that are spoken, right? So thought is the first cause. So when we are reaching higher to a consciousness of recognizing that our thought is that which creates our lives. Right. So we have all of this stuff going on. And so we want to start reaching higher. And so how we start on that path, how we start on that journey is sometimes, and you've probably heard yourself say this, or maybe talking to a friend or a family member who said to you, or maybe you said to yourself, God, there must be more to this. There must be more to this. For me, when that came to me, that's when my life began to change. Oh my God. I went into the office, this goes back years, and I'm like, God, there must be more to this. And things begin to shift. And what I recognize now is that simple statement, there must be more to this, is that inner being, that inner divinity within us saying, reach higher. Because there is more to this, what we would quote, say mundane, right? But there's nothing mundane about this beautiful thing called life. There's nothing mundane about it. So reaching higher is when we start to reach higher, we start reaching for that higher consciousness. We start listening for the answer to the question, is there something more than this? And as we start to ask that question, then we allow ourselves to hear the the answer of yes. And then we start to look for, okay, so what might that be? What might that be? And as we continue down that path, we start to recognize that there are things that might be getting in the way, right? So then we go to week 2. And week 2 was about transcend and include. Transcend and include. So we're on this path, we're reaching higher, we're starting to go, and we're moving, and then things start to get in the way. So then we go, okay, I can transcend this, right? Because I'm not the same person who asked the question. Now I've become a little bit more. I've become a little bit more than that person who said, God, I know there's something more to this than just what I'm seeing. And the answer, of course, is yes. Thank you, Cheryl. Say yes, right? And as we continue to go down that path, we have things that come up that we may need to transcend, right? We may need to transcend those thoughts of negativity. We may need to transcend, Eugene? No, how about we want to transcend those thoughts of negativity. We want to transcend those thoughts of lack and limitation. We want to transcend all of that. We want to transcend all of that. And then on the include part, we want to include everybody who pushes those buttons, not some of them, but all of them. We want to include them into our lives. We want to include them in knowing that right where they are, the divine is, right where they are, love is, right where they are, God is. And so as we start reaching higher, going deeper into this consciousness, right? As we start reaching higher, we go deeper into the consciousness, that we want to include it all, because as we expand, or as that consciousness begins to expand, we start to see that everything is included. Everything is holy. Not just Holy, which is sacred, but Wholy means that it's the whole being. I love the word wholeness because it means that there's nothing missing. So let's include it all. Let's include it all. Now, that doesn't mean that we have to like everything. Yes, we want to love it all. And I don't use that word love lightly because it's a strong, powerful practice, right? I can love everyone. I can love it all. That doesn't mean I have to like that person and invite them out to lunch. I can love them from afar, right? But that's transcending my negative thoughts about whatever that situation is about. And then it's also including them in the prayer work, in my meditation work, wanting only the highest and the best for them and the situation. And then we get to this week. Might be nice if I hit my timer. Then we come to this week, reaching higher when the road gets rocky. Reaching higher, when the road gets rocky. I want to take out the colon. Reaching higher even when the road gets rocky. Because here's the thing, right? Because we are so blessed to live on this beautiful spiritual plane called Earth, and we are surrounded by and immersed in this thing called life. But remember, there's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. So when we come and we're going down that path, and the path gets rocky, what do we do? We continue to say yes. As it was alluded to in the reading by Emma Curtis Hopkins, even this is for me. Right? So something happens. We're on our path, and we're reaching higher. We are expanding. We're feeling good. Things are happening, and things are just moving and shaking and grooving, right? And then things pop up that may get in the way. And the road now seems a little bit rocky. Maybe the fact that the road is rocky is why you're here tuning in today. That's how I got back into Science of Mind Church is my life, man. My rocky is nothing compared to what I seem to be going through. Man, I tell you, I was so low I had to look up to see the bottom of my feet. It was so rocky, right? But that's what got me into, wow, as I think about that, it was that question, there must be more to life than this. And as I began to look for it, then that's when my life began to fall apart, right? Then that's when I began to break down. But sometimes we need to break down in order for us to break through. And so we are to be happy. We are to be grateful for when that path gets rocky. So even when that path is rocky, when the road gets rocky, we say yes. We continue to say yes, and we continue to reach higher. See, we are reaching for a higher consciousness. We are reaching for a deeper consciousness. And so when that road gets rocky, that's the time for us to stop and be aware of what we are asking ourselves, right? We want to be aware that we're not saying, why me? Why is this happening to me? See, nothing ever goes right. When we are asking those types of questions, my brothers and sisters in spirit, these are questions that are disempowering. See, what we want to ask is when that road gets rocky, we want to stop. We want to stop by the roadside and ponder and go, okay, alrighty, what's happening here? And then a great question to ask is this: what good is happening that I've not seen yet? What good is coming to me that I've not seen yet? Where is the good that I've not yet experienced? Now, and we don't ask that from a place of, where's my good that I'm not experiencing yet? It's like, no, where's the good that I'm not experiencing yet? Which means now let me start looking for that good. So whatever the situation whatever the situation is that made the road rocky is a situation that has me going, okay, alrighty. So what am I to learn here? What muscles am I to exercise here? Where's my growing edge? Where is my growing edge? See, when that road gets rocky and after we sit down and we start pondering and contemplating all of that, well, we want to keep going. It's not that we stop. We may take a pause. When I said stop on the road and then ask the questions, but that's only kind of a retreat, right? And in order for us to go forward, sometimes we need to retreat. We need to retreat to advance. So when that road gets rocky and we start asking those questions, we want to keep going. We want to take the time out to ask about those rocks. What is this rock about? What is this rock here to show me? How is it here to grow me? How is it here to grow me? And then one of the questions that we get to ask ourselves when we are in that midst of pain and suffering, right? Buddhist teachings say that the cause of suffering is not desire. The cause of suffering is attachment. Right? So we get to ask the question when I'm in this place on that rocky road and I'm like, oh, life is just going crazy. Wait a minute. What am I attached to? Am I attached to being seen? Am I attached to being, different than who I am called to be? Am I attached to, and whatever the answer is for you, now is the time for you to start to let that go. See, not only is what am I attached to is the question, but what is up for me to let go of? What must I release? See, because we are reaching higher for a higher consciousness. We want to be aware of what's going on in our lives. And here's the thing. Those rocks on that road don't have to be huge rocks. Sometimes those rocks can seem like and be like only pebbles in the shoe, right? But when there's a pebble in the shoe, that's uncomfortable. That's uncomfortable. And then we get distracted. We get distracted off of this road of reaching higher. Like, what the heck is in my shoe? Now I'm looking down at my shoe instead of looking up and looking ahead of where I'm going, right? But let's go ahead and stop. Take off the shoe, shake out the pebble, and we look at the pebble. And when we have it up into when we're looking at it, it looks like it's huge. But when we put that pebble in between our fingers and we extend our hand, that pebble gets smaller and smaller. And then when we throw the pebble down on the ground, it almost disappears. And we find, ooh, how about this one? Then we find that path is filled with pebbles that we are walking upon. that we are running upon, that we are sliding upon, right? So maybe, just maybe, some of those stones, some of those pebbles that get in our way on the path of reaching higher, maybe those stones, maybe those pebbles, maybe those rocks are there to guide us to our greater yet to be. Who knows, right? When we are uncomfortable, that's when we get to sit down and ask the question, what must I be thinking to feel this discomfort? Because remember, this is the science of first cause, and first cause is thought. So it's our thought that creates the way that we feel, and then we act based on how we feel. So it's thought, feeling, action. So when I am feeling upset, when I'm feeling a little rocky, right? When I'm feeling less than, right? I get to stop and ask the question, what must I be thinking to feel this? And then I go down my checklist. Well, is it this? No, it's not that. I'm not thinking that. Well, is it this? No, I'm not thinking that. Oh, what could it be? Oh, I'm thinking that I'm not good enough. Then I get to say, is that the truth? I mean, really, is that the truth? Is the truth is I'm not good enough? No, that's not the truth. How do I know? Going back to there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. How could I not be enough? I am created in the spiritual and after the spiritual nature of the divine itself. All that the divine has, all that life has, it's already given to us. All that life has is already given to us. Now, as we begin to reach higher, not only are we reaching higher and diving deeper, we are opening up the inner eye to see the truth of who we are. I love this question. Who am I? No, really, who am I? Well, you're Eugene Holden. Okay, that's the name that was given to this personality. But going beyond the personality that I know as Eugene Holden, who am I really? Who am I? Who am I before I came to this earth plane? Not who was I? Who am I? Who am I that came to this earth plane? Oh, see, this is reaching higher. This is expanding our consciousness, which, the word consciousness, let's not be confused. The word consciousness is really being aware. What's your awareness, right? Being awake, right? They regained, she regained consciousness. They came back to themselves. So as we begin to start to expand our awareness of who we are, who am I? Oh, I am the beloved of life. Man. And then now that I know that I am the beloved of life, and not only do I believe this, and belief is a wonderful thing. That's a great place to start. And beliefs change. What I believe today may change tomorrow based on what I've learned, based on something that I've heard, right? But when we get to the knowing, oh man, when we get to the I know that I know that I know that I am created in the spiritual image and after the spiritual likeness and the spiritual nature of the divine, when I know that, oh man, it doesn't matter what the rocks are. It doesn't matter. Now we get to use those rocks to climb even higher. Now those rocks have become, stepping stones, right? Those rocks in the path have become stepping stones to our greater yet to be. Our greater yet to be. All of this happens in our consciousness. All of this happens in our awareness. Now, no doubt, stuff is going on. Stuff goes on in life. Please do not get the idea that I think that I don't think that anything is going on. Yes, you will hear me say all the time, life is good. Life is good all the time. And there's still crap going on. There still is, right? But it's that stuff, I say crap, there would be other words that I would use, and it all means manure, right? But here's the thing about manure, right? we can use that manure for the new growth. We can use the crap that's going on to grow whatever wants to be expressed. Right? So something happens. Somebody pushes a button. Somebody flips the switch and it pisses you off, right? Or you are hurt and you're upset. And then you stop on that road and you go, wait a minute. Where is the good that I've not seen yet? Where's the good in this experience that I've not seen yet? I'm willing to see it. Why? Because I am reaching higher, even when the road gets rocky. Right? As Dora said in, Finding Emo, right? Is that her name? Dora? Anyway, you know which fish I mean. Keep on swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep going. Just keep going. Here's the thing that I want to leave us all with. Two things. One, life was designed for our greater good. Yeah, there's stuff going on. And we want to raise our consciousness above what seems to be going on, not ignoring it, but using it for our greatest good. And then as we begin to expand our consciousness and we get to then start to transcend and include, then our prayer work is about being a part, about being a part of that group of people who are here to reveal the kingdom of heaven here on earth. And for me, the kingdom of heaven on earth is ever expanding good. Now, we are not to ignore what's going on. We are not to put our heads in the proverbial sand. We are to look at it. We are to acknowledge it. We are to address it. And then we are to love it. We are to include it in this loving vibration. And love transcends and transforms all things. And then the second thing we want to do, thank you, Cheryl, is to say yes. To say yes to a greater life, to say yes to a greater way of being, to say yes to seeing love in every experience that we may encounter, to say yes in all that is going on, to say yes, to say yes. Yes, there's a line in that song that I'm like, well, I don't know about that for me. You know, there is always, and that's the word that I didn't, there will always be an uphill battle. No, not for me, right? And the reason why I say that is because, what's that verse that goes, it is done unto us as we believe? So if I believe that there will always be an uphill battle, well, because we are surrounded by this infinite intelligence that always says yes, it's going to give me the experience to prove me right. Yep, Eugene, you believe that there will always be an uphill battle, so here you are. Yeah, but what if there's not? So let me not say yes to the uphill battle. Let me say yes to reaching higher. Let me say yes. Let me say yes to being the most dynamic expression of God that I can be. Let me say yes to my abundance. Let me say yes to my creativity. Let me say yes to my perfect health, wholeness, and well-being. Let me say yes to all of the loving relationships that I have in my life. Let us say yes to being the pure, illuminated expression of the One. Are you with me on this? Hey, I heard your yes. I heard your yes. So join me in this affirmative prayer. This is what I know. I know that there is only one life. And this life is a life of ever expanding good. I recognize that there is this infinite intelligence from which all things are created. I recognize that it is at the very core and the very center of all of life, from that little grain of sand to the expansiveness of the galaxies. All there is and ever shall be is God, the infinite intelligence that governs the universe through divine law and unconditional love. See, I recognize that it is God that is the first cause of everything, that God is the cause of the sun being bright, that God is the cause of the moon glowing and the stars sparkling. God is that which is the cause of the oceans waving. See, I know that which is the source and the cause of the wind blowing is that which breathes our breath. That which is the cause of the earth spinning on its axis over 1,000 miles an hour is that which animates the body temple in perfection. And so recognizing and acknowledging that God is everywhere present at all times, I know that at all times God is present right where we are. Right here, right now, God is we are. That's what I know. And I shall not be moved from this awareness. I shall not be moved from this higher consciousness. And so it is from this higher consciousness of our oneness in God that I speak this word on behalf of everybody tuning in, everybody who is associated with Centers for Spiritual Living St. George and beyond. I speak this word for divine health, wholeness, and well-being, not only in the body temple, but in the body of all of our affairs. I speak this word, for the consciousness of God showing up as peace in every situation. I speak this word for grace. I speak this word for abundance. I speak this word for divine intelligence to flow through us with ease and with grace without any effort at all. There is no efforting at all. It is not about making anything happen. It's about making it welcome. And so I speak this word for an open heart. Knowing that this word is already done, knowing that we have said yes to raising our consciousness, knowing that we have said yes to reaching higher and transcending and including all that is there for the goodness of all of life, knowing that this is demonstrated treatment, knowing that this is answered prayer, I give great thanks. And so it is from the vibration of gratitude and thanksgiving that I now release my word into the law. I take my hands off of it because there's nothing else for us to do but to be in the awareness that the law takes these words and molds them and shapes them and then blends them and then sends them back into our lives absolutely and beautifully fulfilled with mathematical precision. We just open up and know that it is done. And so we accept it with loving gratitude and grateful expectancy, knowing that it is done simply because our word is a law unto itself. All it knows is its own fulfillment. And so fulfilled, we simply in the love allow it to be. I call it good. And so it is. Amen. Ashe.
Wow. Thank you, Eugene. Whew. Yes.
You're welcome.
Oh, what a wonderful talk. Are you going to be joining us for the meeting at 12 o'clock?
Yes, I can for a short time.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you
You're
then.
very much welcome.
Okay, everyone. Right now, we have some announcements to make. The first one, is going to be our monthly Saturday in-person gathering is happening this Saturday at 10 to 11:30 at Sullivan Virgin River Soccer Park. Okay, now that's in Washington Fields. I'm not sure. I haven't been there before, but I know I can Google it just like everybody else, and we'll meet there together at 10 o'clock. It'll be fun. I'd like to invite you to donate and give to the Centers for Spiritual Living St. George. We are a beautiful community, and even though we haven't got a place to meet yet, we are actively looking and deciding how to come up with a place for us to gather again, which will be fun. So we need your inspiration by giving on Breeze, on PayPal, on this icon on the computer, which I'm not familiar with, but I know everybody is. Or you can give by mail. Your donations are so welcome and so loved. Thank you. we have a support community that is available for each and every one of you. So send us your prayer request. Our practitioners are willing to protect, support you and pray for you for circumstances in your life to help change them, to help you embrace the truth around them. And we support through calls, cards, prayer, everything. Just at prayer@cslstgeorge.org. So I was talking to Eugene about joining our community conversation. We have one after every service at noon. And it's interesting, it's lively, and it's informative. And we talk about what we've already talked about during the broadcast, but we can go deeper. There's individual questions can get answered. So please join us. Join us next Sunday, where I will be giving the talk, and it's my first time. So I'm looking forward to it. It's September 26th, and Still I Rise. And then on October 3rd, we're going to hear again from Joe Kovach about divine community. That'll be awesome too. Okay, we're going to do a closing affirmation, and everybody's going to come on screen, and we're going to say this wonderful closing affirmation. And let me tell you, I also want to thank Chris McCardle for being our tech today. I didn't mention that in the first, but he was behind the scenes the whole time, so I really appreciate that. Okay, something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind, life is in my body, life is in all that I do.
I am it, I embrace it, and I share it.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is becoming.
Thank
you, life.
Woo! Thank you, everybody, for joining us. See you at the Zoom meeting.
Peace and blessings.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Love you all. Bye-bye.